Okay. Yeah, maybe we could start when you want, Alex.
Yeah, Cesar, I made you co-host, so you can share a screen if you want and all that stuff. Okay. So, well, hello everybody. As you know, my name is Alex Espuña. I work as a communicator for Resilience Earth, and I'm coordinating this training. As you may know, we won't have Erica and Oscar with us today. Today we have with us Cesar Fernandez. As I told you in the email that I sent you, Cesar works as a therapist and as a group facilitator for Resilience Earth, and he's a founding member of the Institute for Facilitation and Change. He's also a founding member of the Institute of Work of Process and Deep Democracy of Spain, and he's specialized in conflict work. Among many other things, he has also worked as an administrator for the Spiral Node Permaculture. And well, Cesar is here today with us for the second session of the Community Engagement Co-Sensing to talk about process work. So I will pass it to him. Hello, Cesar, and welcome to the Community Catalyst Training.
Okay, many thanks, Alex. Okay, I hope you understand my English more or less. No, it's a little bit with a lot of Spanish accent, but I hope you understand. And the idea for today is the last Monday you were seeing this iceberg model, no, and you have this homework, no, of applying the model for your communities or organizations, teams, or your context. And the idea for today is with this, no, we have like a really good map, no, a lot of information in different levels. No? And the idea for today is what do we do with that? No, like how we can. No, sometimes there is so many information. Yeah, but what? No, yeah, this is the purpose, and this is the principles, and this is the paradigm. And here there are these structures, but then where do we start? What can we do with that? No? So I hope for today we can bring some ideas about and practice. No? Also with your examples, with your have some practice. No? And we are going to use the process work methodology. I don't know if maybe some of you are familiar with this model of process work. No? Okay. You don't need to be familiar. I will explain a little bit, and we will try it. No, we will experience with it. And maybe first we would like to do as I think you did it all Mondays to go to the breakout rooms, no, and talk a little bit, no, about the last homework, no, yeah, what do you achieve? It was, yeah, like to talk a little bit, and then we will have a moment to share for questions, and then we will carry on from there. Yeah, right. Okay, so yes, it's always difficult, no, with the Zoom, no, with the feedback. It's a little bit, yeah. So I will ask you to be quite expressive, no, with the. Yeah, especially if you don't understand something, or it's like to make faces, and so I can see because this is like I don't know if I am explaining myself or not, or okay. So shall we go to the breakout rooms?
Yep.
And then yeah, we'll carry on from there. So yeah, like we will have 10 minutes, more or less. It's nice when you came back all together. No? Okay, so now we will open a little space to, if someone wants to share, or if there are any questions. Maybe you ask questions that are too complicated. I will tell you to keep it to Erika, because I am not a specialist in iceberg. No. But let's try.
Can I just jump in, just comment? We didn't have enough time, and I would really love to, like, next time maybe to have a little more time and not only listen to each other, but like I think that the feedback within the group, it's also very appreciated, and we had like a really good discussion. We have to go out. So.
Okay. Do you want 5 minutes more now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I do. I don't know if others do also.
What the others say? Meh. Mixed feedback, no? Or
No objection.
let's carry on then. But next we will have more moments during today, and I will put a little more time. Okay.
Yeah. The one of the problems here, we were 4 in a chat room for 10 minutes. That's too many of us for 10 minutes to talk.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So only 2 people could talk out of 4.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I maybe have a question about the iceberg model. I was wondering if this is useful. I mean, when would this be useful? Because I think last time the example was about conflict in the community. But then the homework was, I mean, for example, when I was trying to apply it, I couldn't think of any, let's say, any obvious conflict.
In your community or your project, or
Yeah,
you
or
are,
at least
you are really
not.
lucky.
Okay, there is a conflict, like, but it's more external than internal, and then it's more like a systemic conflict that we are adhering to, not necessarily like something to pinpoint.
Well, it's always useful to have this map. It always brings you like a more complete picture of your team, of your group, of your community, you know? And you can use it just to see, you know, what are the where are we now, you know, and what could be the next step, you know, where are the next what wants to happen next. You know, we see, you know, like teams, communities, organizations, like something that is always growing, you know, and evolving. You know? So if you still don't have conflict, you will have in 2 days or 1 month, but it will come. You know? So to have a more complete map always helps.
But then I guess this is really a framework to be kind of used in a group, right? Rather than me doing it on myself, by myself.
You as a, because to what did you apply it?
To this organization I'm working with in The Hague, but then I was doing it from my perspective. I didn't interact with the group to work on it, but my question is, I mean, my assumption is that it would give different results if it would be applied in a group, right?
Yeah, but you always can start, and in doing it, you will have questions, no? And this is like always the start of a dialogue, no, with your colleagues, no, or the other parts of the team. Okay. Anyone else?
We were thinking about, or we were talking about, it was interesting because I started doing it like from actions down to sort of like the purpose or paradigm. But then I thought like it would be really cool also to then, once you identify sort of like from the way that you already exist and are working, because I think we often like make decisions based on actions instead of like the paradigm. It would be really cool to then, like, once you do it once, to go back and do it again, but sort of like once you identified those paradigms or purpose, to like then work up to see like actually if the strategies and structure that we're using like really touch that. Because I felt like once I did that, it was like, oh, maybe there's actually like a whole other way that we need to be addressing sort of like what's actually happening. So it'd be cool to like have the time to do it in group and do it like twice, I guess.
Yeah, and it's always something that you can review as a team, like once a year or every 6 months, to review the purpose, because it's also something that is evolving, and gets enriching, with as we walk, So yeah, it's not something that you do once, but something to have in mind and to review, to have it on the wall, of your room. Okay. What else?
I have a quick question, and I'm sorry if you mentioned it already, like last session, I wasn't present, I couldn't come. So just about the iceberg model that you are using, is this one redesigned? What's the origin of it? Which framework do you use?
It's a model that was created by Peter Senge.
Okay, because I know the one with events and mental models on the bottom. It's the first time I see this one.
This is a like a kind of adaptation.
Okay, yeah.
Here in Resilience Set, but it's inspired and is almost the same as the Peter Senge model.
Okay, so you redesigned it, or yeah?
It's not really. It's like a twitch, no? It's like put something like more adapted to.
Okay.
To here.
Yeah, because I don't know, for me it makes so much more logic to have like mental models on the bottom, and also how, for example, Donella Meadows explains things related to that. It makes the Peter Senge model. I don't know how you explained it, but with this one, okay, I have to see I have to watch the last session. Yeah.
Yeah, and with all this, you always consider these are just models, are just maps. So use it if it's useful for you, and everyone has like his own way of understanding, and there are models that in a way fit with you in a moment and are really useful for you, and others not so much. So use it as if you find it like clear for you, and if not, you can put it aside, and maybe I don't know, in 2 months will make sense for you or not. So yeah.
Okay, muchas gracias.
You're welcome.
Excuse me.
Kevin.
Yes, I have a question, because after all, like, none of those frameworks are really clear for me, or for us from the beginning. Okay, everything is pretty new. Something new is coming every week, and 2 hours is definitely not enough for us to understand, because they're all complex. They're all being redesigned by you. So to communicate something. So my question now really is, what is this aimed at, and am I in the right place? Are we in the right place for what we're looking for?
What are you looking for?
We are, well, I would like first you to answer the question to know if this is what I am looking for, because when it's catalyst thing, but what is this preparing us to do? To be group facilitators, to be speakers for, I don't know.
I think it's more the idea is that you can have like a deeper understanding, you know, of how an organization or a team works, you know, how in a way to give you different perspective of different views from where you can see, you know, what is happening in a community, in a group, you know? And from there, sometimes you can have like new ideas or new directions or new ways to address, you know, what your goals or your objectives with this community. Yeah, I don't know if I am answering you. Or...
Yeah, you did. It's just I don't know when I'm gonna be using the iceberg frame or any other thing that we've had. Me personally, and I speak for myself, I'm looking for something practical.
Yeah.
That I can use when we are going to be dealing with community situations and issues on the small scale and on the larger scale.
Okay. I hope today it will be practical, but let me know if it's not like that.
Okay. Thank you.
I have someone. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. May I ask one question if we still have time?
Yes. A couple of questions more and we will start.
Yeah. Regarding the method, the iceberg model, in our homework, the last question was define which is the deepest leverage point that will generate the maximum change. And by some automatism, or I don't know why, I thought like, or maybe because I had some experiences before, I had the feeling that, or assumption that the deeper we go, the change is bigger or more effective. But when the question is posed, define which is the deepest leverage point that will generate, this implies that not necessarily the deepest level brings the deepest change. Is that true? Or was I clear enough? Can it be that the change that you have to bring into the situation doesn't have to be from the level of paradigm? It can be also some more superficial change, but that it brings the maximum change.
This is what we are going to see today.
Okay.
Because change is complex, no, and it happens at different levels, no? And it depends where the community is or where the organization is, where the attention of the organization or the community or the team is at this time. So this is exactly what we are going to start with this. Okay, so I hope it will be clear at the end of today.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I have another comment?
Yes.
So about like how do I understand or I see this course, and thank you guys so much. You're doing great work. Like very useful. I'm working in with system thinking tools too. And I understand what we are doing, but it's true that also if system thinking comes already from 70s, it's still not known. And I find system thinking tools very, very useful, but they have to be like, in most of the cases, it's something that you do in a team or in a group. And it's not about like system thinking, it's not about solving problems, but like more analyzing and maybe finding truly this leverage point. And it's not about changing the system, but changing the evolution of the system. So if you are looking like that you will come to the solution with all these tools, no, it's just like to slow down, go step by step, see what's around you. You know, it's like permaculture is a great example for of system thinking. So I find it very useful.
Okay, thank you, Maya. Okay, so we start with a little bit of theory. Yeah. Today I am more analogic. Okay, so today there are no mural, no fancy diagrams. So sorry for that, but I will use the board. Okay. So I will talk from this process work perspective. So you have from the other day, you have like this. Do you see? More or less.
You use the black color, Cesar. Yeah, much better.
Yeah, you have like the iceberg and like a lot of information, no, in different levels. And then, this is like a kind of picture, of the moment of a community, of an organization, and then is what happens moment by moment, and this is what we call process, what is happening moment by moment. We can have a lot of ideas, and then things happen, and always goes a little bit in other directions that we thought, or in the wrong direction, or in the right, or whatever. But this is so. The idea here is that if we are able to follow the process, like more, we are able to be more close to the process. Normally, things works better. So the first thing is to see that we can have we can distinguish like different phases into that the process follows. And normally we can talk about 4 phases. Okay, so you can imagine, you can think on your group, your organization, your team, your community, your family, whatever kind of congregation of people with some intention. In phase 1, this is a phase that is usual when we first meet. Like, things are good. Life is good. Maybe there are some problems. Maybe there are some conflicts, but they are not important. Everything more or less goes as we plan. It's like we are in the beach, the sun is shining, and life is good. See? This is phase 1. Yeah. But normally, more sooner or later, something happens, and conflict appears. This is phase 2. There are like me, and there are the other. It's like the other appears, and the other can be in the form of this guy that is not understanding our purpose, or maybe is the bank, or maybe is some accident, but something happens that in a way take me out of this good feeling. Yeah, you can relate with this in your if we are able to sustain this and to fight a little bit, to really enter into the conflict, then normally there is a change happening. I start to think, well, maybe this has some point in what he's saying, no? Or maybe I am not so different, no? Or maybe I start to being able to move, to change my role, no? To start to understand myself, but also to understand the other side. No? And this is what we call phase 3. Yeah. Are you following me so far? Yeah. And when this happens, you know, normally there is like a kind of relax, no, like, okay. And go a little bit deeper, not to the sense of purpose, why we are here, why we exist as a community. No, it's more like the polarities get melted in a way. No, and this is what we call phase 4. No, like there is a sense of it's more like an experience that we have sometimes, no, in our teams, in our groups, when in a way there is an experience of, yes, that's why I am here. No, that's why we are here. And we start again. No? There are phases, no, or states, because this is the definition. No, it will pass, and it's not about this is the good one, no, or this is the good one, but to see it as a process, no? To see it as something that all these phases are needed. And I put the 4 here also, no, because the phase 4 is a phase, but we can also see the phase 4 like as the source of the process. And to have a little bit of access here always helps to sustain myself or to sustain our communities, of our organization, our teams in going through all this. Because in a way, when you are connected with this, you know that, okay, now we are here, but this will pass. And this is also needed, yeah? So what happens? No, that normally, this is like the devil. No? Conflict, we always try to avoid conflict because conflict is nasty, is aggressive. I don't know anyone, no, who really likes conflict. Even when you say, yeah, conflict is an opportunity, but when you have the conflict, it's like, yeah, take you the opportunity. No, I prefer to be at peace and cool. No? So normally we try to avoid this phase. No? Instead of going to it and, no, and take our leaves and okay, what is happening here? We try to avoid. We try to go back here, no, or we try to arrive to agreements too soon, or to come to agreements, or okay, yes, I understand you, but it's too soon. No, it happens a lot. You can experience it in your relationships. No, like when you are, yes, I forgive you. And the other is still mad at you. No, or yeah, it's not enough. No, it's too soon. Or we try to devaluate the conflict. It's not so important. No? I can sustain it. Yeah, but we really love each other, so we don't address it. Yeah. So the thing with the process and the intervention is in the communities, no? Or we have the iceberg and we see like the leverage points, and yeah, like there is the purpose, no, or the vision is more deeper. But for example, if the community is here and we try to go directly to working with the vision, it's not going to work. Why? Because this is not addressed. Yeah. Yeah, I had this. I was living in. I was like years ago. I was like founding an eco village, you know. And when I started to study these kind of things, and I arrived to my eco village, I have the solution. We have to work on our common vision, you know. And we work, I think, like 4 times in a year in the common vision, and it never worked. Because there were a lot of tensions, a lot of differences, a lot of conflicts in the relationship that we were putting under the rug. You know? So then we are not prepared. You know? We were trying to be here, but we were here. Yeah. So the example, with the example that we were seeing the Monday, about Santa Pau. Do you remember it? If we go there and we say, no, but you have a common sense of the land. They will say, yeah, no, I have a common sense of the land. This asshole doesn't. This is strong, and we will be there. So the idea is to be aware of the phase where we are and go there. No? If we are in phase 2, we have to conflict. No, we have to fight a little bit with care, but we have to fight. Yeah, we have to put our differences over the table and to talk about it. Yeah, Judith.
Yeah, I have a question because how do you avoid spiraling into the conflict? So it's good that we put the things on the table and then we talk about it, but when do you know? Yeah, I'm a bit of afraid of like that it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and never ends, and then you're like all the time in conflict mode.
Yeah. So normally the conflict, we call it that the conflict cycles. I mean, cycles that I have this position, no, and the other has this other, and we are repeating the same arguments, no, again and again and again, no, and at the end is some kind of version of you are guilty. No, you are more guilty. No, it's more or less this like the structure, no. So normally cycles because we don't conflict enough. We just have like a superficial conflict, but here when the conflict cycles, it means that I have to go deeper in my position. There are things that I am not daring to say, and here the same.
So we didn't arrive to the core of the conflict. Yes. So we are like in, how to say, if it's an onion, we are still like in the...
Yeah, because we are afraid of conflict. So I say till here, but maybe I am not saying what is really hurting me, for example. Because I am afraid of hurting the other, or maybe it's too much, or I am afraid of being hurted. Sorry for my, but we don't. Yeah, the thing is that the conflict perpetuates because we don't conflict enough. And this is a little bit like contra-intuitive. Yeah, but the quicker way out of conflict is through the conflict. Not trying to agree on something when we are still in conflict. Yeah.
Could I
Yeah.
ask you, sorry,
Yeah.
to clarify 3 and 4 again? Because I understand like there's like the honeymoon phase, which is like sort of 1, then there's like conflict appears. And then what I'm understanding is like 3 is sort of when you're moving through the conflict, and 4 is when you've like re-centered into a sense of purpose. But I'm not sure if I'm understanding.
3 is when you start to being able to understand the other side, but to really understand, because sometimes we think we understand, but it's not true. You know, when we are still like, yes, I can understand, but you still don't understand me. This is still phase 2. Yeah. Yeah. 3 is when you start to feel like a little bit of fluidity between the different parts. No? And you also can really honestly understand the other. Yeah. And sometimes, a lot of times, we try to go here too soon. No, because yes, we want to be okay. No, and we want things to be okay and nice. So we go too soon, and then we have like false agreements. No, like we agree on something, but then nobody, the agreement doesn't work, and then things start to being more and more difficult. Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah, to be aware where we are as a community, you know, where we are as a team. We are here enjoying ourselves and our team. We are here with a little bit of fight and with things that are not processed enough, or things that doesn't. We are here understanding, you know, the different parts, and being able to talk about it and being creatives. We are here like more connected with our sense and our purpose. And also, there is a clear difference between 1 and 4, okay? Because sometimes with some kind of spiritual people, no, that creates a lot of reaction, no, because they say they are here, but they are here, you know, trying to marginalize conflict, or marginalize. So no, I am okay. Be calm, my friend. You have to breathe deeper, no, or things like that. This is phase 1. It's really being connected with a real sense. Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far? Yeah, you did.
Sorry.
Oh, don't worry.
What if there's only one part that doesn't want to open and be vulnerable and go into the conflict? Like, if there is different parts, you go without this person, you wait until this person, but what if this person, it's life process and it will take, I don't know, very long. How do you handle the diversity of when a person is ready to go through the conflict or not?
This is what we are going to see after.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like first, I was just going to invite you to go to Breakout Rooms again, and to talk a little bit, okay, my thing, my project, in which phase is? In which phase are we, and what are the signals? Why I am saying that? You know? And if I am in phase 2, what is the main, you know, like where is the thing? You know, what is the conflict about? Yeah, because this is really useful. Useful also, but this is really useful for the groups and for the teams to be here, you know, and also to stay here, like in a kind of mild phase 2, no, because we try to avoid it and it's there, you know, and maybe we are sustaining it, but it's like a kind of equilibrium, no? It's when someone asks you, "How are you?" and you say, "Oh, well, okay." It's like, yeah, I try to be here, but I am fighting with something. Yeah, maybe I don't feel fulfilled enough, or maybe there is something that is not really working. But we try to look for the brighter side, no, and avoid it. And in a way, this chronified, you say that? Or chronifies? But it lasts more time, yeah? Yeah? Okay, so shall we go to the crystallize? Yeah, maybe also crystallizes. So shall we go for the breakout rooms? Yeah, and yeah, in which phase is my community, organization, team, project? Why I am saying that? What are the signals? And then we come back. We can share a little bit some questions also, and then we will see what do we do with this.
Yep.
What
Cesar,
yeah.
before they go to the breakout rooms, just asks in the chat, how do you know if you truly understand the other side, and how do you know if the other side truly understands you?
Okay. Yeah, the feedback. No, the feedback is what tells you if the other side is understanding you or not. You know? Because sometimes you think that you understand, you know? but then the answer of the other side tells you if this is real or not. Yeah. Yeah, it's clear my answer, or is too abstract? I can put an example. No? It happens a lot, no? Like that also you think you understand, yeah, but the other side is still angry with you, no? For example, or is still accusing you of something. So this is a signal that there is still something that you are not understanding. So maybe there are need for more conflict still to happen. Yeah. Okay. So shall we go to have a little bit of face awareness? Yeah. And then we come back and we will deepen on this. Okay. We will deepen then how we carry on. So, like, I will give you a little bit more, 15 minutes. Okay. Goodbye, Ana Maria. Okay.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Now, yes.
Better.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. To have your opinion on the matter. So on that, I like your diagram because it's simple.
Thank you.
Yes. These model in the community, not the entire group will feel like that.
Sorry, could you repeat, because I couldn't catch you at the beginning.
I said, if we are talking or two-person relationship, we're talking about a community, a group, a company.
Yeah.
Okay. Company has some part that is experiencing a phase 2. It might not be applicable for everyone.
Yes, yes, it is. I can explain. Like normally, when we are talking about a group and a community, and yes, no, there are people that will say we have a problem, you know, and maybe other part of the community or the team or the company will say, which problem? We don't have any problem. Yeah. And normally this is a matter of power. No, this is a matter of rank. No, if there are someone that is telling you we have a conflict, and you are saying no, it's because you have more power, you have more privilege, or you have more rank. So the community is in phase 2, but there are some parts of the community that is denying it because of a question of privilege, of power. But it's phase 2. There is a conflict, but they still didn't agree on it. But it didn't mean that is not phase 2. Yeah.
Excuse me, I have to disagree with that. From my own experience, I know a lot of people with no ranking that will deny the problem as well. Not to create more conflict or to shine the light on the conflict for themselves. A lot of people deny the conflict, even if it's obvious. And there are people also without ranking, without privileges, without power.
Yeah, I mean, you can see. Also, it depends what we are understanding about the rank of power. No, because power has many sources. No, I am not talking about there is functional power, but then there are also other kinds of power. And sometimes when you are not when you are able to deny the conflict, is because you have some kind of power on the matter. But also Kevin, no, that we don't have to agree. Also, no, that I am just presenting some ideas, no, and you can take what is useful for you, and what is not, you can just throw it away. You know, it's just perspectives, no, that if you can use and you can apply it, no, is great. No, and this is really, no, the groups, teams, relationships are so complex. There are so many ways to see them, so many perspectives, no, that there is a part that also who knows. No? In my experience, this works, no, but this is not for also, no, for other people works in other ways. Okay, so yeah, how for the, do you have more questions about this?
Well, now came to my mind. So what part would be when something is over, it's finished?
What do you mean it's over?
Like with a community or even with a partner, when something is over because of conflict, sometimes it's not going to follow the cycle. It's going to be out.
when the project dies in a way.
Yeah, for example.
No, when there are we are not able to sustain and the thing breaks. Do you mean that? Yeah, the process will take other ways. No? You will join other community and will have the same conflict, and maybe in the next opportunity you will be able to deal with it. Like the conflict doesn't go away; it goes with you, and you can experience it really in your relationships for sure. No, that you split with someone because of this problem, and then you fell in love with other person, and bad luck. No, it has at the end it has the same issues. No? There are people laughing. No, it's not just me. No, that finds this in your relationship. So like normally the things still goes on. No, even if the community is not working. No? Mm-hmm. What else, Laura?
Yes. I would like to comment that for me, this model, this tool, what we aim to do with it is to heal the wounds, right? So, curar las heridas that can be created in a community or in a team, in a small group of people. So this tool will enable the conversation. This tool will enable to guide the feelings, the conflict. For example, Kevin was saying, well, people might not feel reflected on the conflict. So let's pay attention. Why? Because if someone do not want to acknowledge the conflict when it's very obvious for everyone else, maybe that's part of the issue. So you have to dig in more into it. So, and this is also a relation between the people. So it will continue moving. This is not something that will stop. So when the conflict is over, when we know that we reach phase 4, well, when we trust each other again and when we can continue working together again. Otherwise, we need external people to help us to move it forward. Otherwise, the community or the project will end.
Yeah, and also to see it, Laura, like that this is not something that you do one time, no, and then, no, it's like it's a process, no, and it's the way as like you can see conflict also as the quicker way to create community. So that don't expect because sometimes we think we have conflict because we are doing something wrong, or because our structure or our organization doesn't work. You know? And a lot of times it's not about it. You know? A lot of times the organization is fine. And yes, we can improve this or that, but there are not any system or organization or system of governance that prevents conflict. No? Because the human experience is much more complex than any system, and it's the way that to grow, no? and to know each other and to know ourselves. Okay, and the other Laura, no, you also have a
question. Yeah, I was wondering. I was talking about Lemmy and Judith about. Because we in our community experienced something else, that somebody in the community was always looking for conflict all the time. Conflict, and it was such a burden on the community for 2 years that our only way to solve this conflict was actually saying goodbye to this person, which is really painful and it's not nice, but it's sometimes we tried everything. So I was wondering, what is your reflection on this when somebody is staying phase 2 and it's just not possible, you know, to go to the next stage, or maybe his personal, like, so then again, maybe the group and the person are in a different stage. I don't know, like what your reflection is on that.
No, normally there are maybe I can. Like conflict has also a lot to do with the identity of the community, no? With the belief systems of the community, no? Like there is, you can see there is the process, no? Like everything is here, no? And then there is one part of the process that we are identified with. Like we, as a community, we are this. And for example, in a lot of communities, no, we are equal. No, we believe in people. We believe in dialogue. We believe in understanding. No, we believe in trust. Yeah. And then there is all the other things that we are not. In process work, we call this the primary process, and this is the secondary process. Yeah. And then between this, there are what we call the edges, the boundaries. That is what separates. We are this and we are not this. And here, in the boundaries, there are all the belief systems that explain, like for example, violence is not good, so we can't put a limit to this guy. We have to try to include it. Yeah. But then all the time, that we are touching this on our communities, and it's also the process where our identity is growing in a way. So you can see this conflict, and also the conflict or the process happens in all the community, but also happens the same process in our relationships, and also inside of each of us. It's like it's a fractal structure, like a broccoli. You have a broccoli and you take one, and it's like a little broccoli, and then you take another one and it's like a little broccoli. So the conflict, you can see the conflict as a group thing, as an interpersonal thing, or as a personal thing. Yeah? And a lot of times we try to distinguish. This is mine, this is me, that I am putting my sheet on the group, or it's about the other, or it's about the group. We try to distinguish. And the thing is that is all of it. But the energy is more here, or sometimes it's more here, or sometimes it's more here. So you can see it as all the things. Like you can see that this guy has a lot of things, and maybe this was not his community, and also it's quite I don't know your community, but maybe you have an edge to put limits, and this guy was teaching you not to say no to things, to say, okay, you say that, but I say this, so what? No? So you can also see it as a group thing. No? And if you as a group don't learn this, it will appear another one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, we definitely learn to put limits. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And this happens a lot in our communities, no? Like or teams or groups, no? We say, yeah, we are really okay. If not because of this guy or this that is a, I don't know, whatever, no? That is a, and we how do you say, take it out, and then this other one that was really nice starts to be an asshole, no, in a month, or because of the system in a way organize us much more than what we believe. Or sometimes we are okay, but there is this interpersonal conflict between this and that is driving us crazy. No? So the conflict takes different ways to express, but in a way it's the same conflict and is present in all the levels. Yeah. Okay, what else? Any other question or sharing? Oh, is we just have half an hour left. Anything else? We carry on? Yeah? So then, what do we do? Just a quick question. How many of you, of your projects or teams, or you have in phase 2? You can raise your hand. Just 5, 4. Oh, that's lucky. That's lucky, eh? Okay. So, okay, if we are in phase 1, that's great. Enjoy it. No? All the time that you can. No? It's great to be there. No? So there is almost nothing to do as enjoy the moment, and in a way it's great. No? If you are in phase 3, this is a great moment to be creative, to see next steps, no, or phase 4. No, they are really good moments. No, we are going to next day that we are going to be with me again. Maybe I will have a mural for next day, but I don't know. But that is about what do we wish to become. Phase 4 is a really great place to, in a way, to explore this. No? So we will see exercises to connect with the phase 4 and see what is emerging from there. So it's a great place from where to be creative. And if you are in phase 2, you have to go to the conflict, or not. It's always a decision, you know. but it is something to be aware. You know? And if you don't want to go to the conflict, maybe you have to leave the community, you know, or do something else. But normally,
Cesar,
yeah.
may I say something? It's Kate. I don't
Yeah,
have
Kate.
video. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So when you say like if you have conflict, it's good to go through the conflict. In my moment, in my situation at the moment, it's not my organization, but there is like undercurrents of conflict and I can feel it. And I have been visiting individuals to see how they are feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But the person with all the power is how can I say this? Is taking people on one-on-one and speaking with them and differently to each person. It's very complicated and very dishonest.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm in a position of power to call a meeting about the person in power.
Yeah.
Without putting myself in danger of losing my home.
But
I really also feel in my heart it needs to come to the surface.
Yeah. Okay. Good point, Kate. Yeah. Like if we take conflict, yeah. The first step is to be aware of it. Yeah. No, this you already said it, Kate. No, I sense the conflict. I am aware, and this looks obvious, but it's not so obvious. A lot of time we are fighting and we don't even realize of it. We don't agree as a team. No, normally we have like two conflicts. One conflict with the conflict, and then the conflict itself. You know, there is like a kind of a paradigm conflict. So maybe this is the first thing to address. No, what as a group, what do we consider a conflict and what to do with it? To avoid it.
There's fear of conflict. It's a group of women, and they are all terrified of conflict.
Yeah. So this is normal, no? So be aware is the first, no? The second step is to decide what to do with it. Yeah. Like to choose your battles is really important. We don't have to avoid all the conflicts. I have the energy, the resources. I am in a position to really avoid this conflict. Or as you were saying, Kate, maybe I am putting myself too much in danger. No, maybe I can lose my job.
Yeah.
Or depending on the situation, I can lose my life.
Yeah.
No, or I can so in a way decide, no, what to do with the conflict. If I decide to go for it, but I think this step is important, no? to make a decision. If I decide to go for it, then ask for permission. I think that we have a conflict in this thing, and I would like to work on it. What do you think? What the rest of you think? Or I have something with you, and I would like to talk about it. Do you want or not? Yeah, like ask for permission. If the other side says no, It's better to not, because it's not going to work. And if the answer is yes, then we go for it. Yeah, are you following me so far? Yeah. And then how we do it? No, if the answer is yes, first to be aware of your position, you know, and take your position fully. No, yes, I understand you, but, or I say this, but this never works. No, when we are giving like double messages or yes but no, it is important that you take your position fully and invite the other to do the same. Yeah. And notice the change of roles. You are doing it. You are in a way standing by your position, and if you keeping it and the other keeping it, there is a moment that you start to notice in some that you are moving in a way, or the other is moving. So notice the change, and don't get stuck here. Yeah? Notice the change of roles. And express the other part. Express what you are understanding of the other part. Yeah? But not before taking your position fully. Yeah. Yeah. And
Cesar,
yeah.
what do you exactly mean by the role change? Can you give an example?
Who is talking? I don't.
Miriam, you don't see me.
Okay.
Sorry, because
no,
of that.
Don't worry. When you start if I take for example Santa Pau, no, the example for the other day, yeah, like there was a position that was more or less I'm going to park whatever I want. No, I want to put my car wherever I want because this is my village and I don't want tourists. And I am going to put my car in front of my house. Yeah, and then there is another one that says, no, we need the square free of cars because we want. Children here playing, we want the people, yeah. No, these are more or less the positions. Maybe here I still didn't express everything, no. Maybe if I say more, I say no, but I don't want to move my car because I don't trust you. No? And really, I don't give a fuck about my car. I can put it on the other way, but I don't trust you, so I am not going to do what you are telling me. Yeah. And maybe here they can say, why you don't trust me? I have good intentions. Why you don't trust me? I don't trust you because last year, now I am making it up, but I don't trust you because last year, blah, 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 blah. No, so this is fully, no? And maybe here something of this start to land, no? And say, okay, yeah, last year I was a little bit whatever, no? And then this is change. This is starting to change the role. Here, no, this position is in a way moving a little bit till here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But this is not happening if there are no. If not, we are here like you, no you, no you, car, no car. And we can be here for years if there are not a willingness to go deeper. Yeah. So notice the role change, express it, no? And as last step, look for agreements and solutions. But again, not before there are a change of the roles. Yeah? Normally we try to start here, looking for solutions and agreements before we don't even understand the conflict still. No, we don't even understand what is below. Yeah. Yeah. It's clear so far? Okay. Do you have any questions? Yeah, Judith. And Laura.
Well, you said, well, there's different options in step 2 when we decide. One of us is to go through the conflict, and in the case we don't want to go through the conflict, we just neglect it, or like I can imagine that the best is just to say, well, now I don't have the energy or the time or whatever to go through this conflict to the other part. So this is quite empathic, but like
you can try to drop it. You know, try.
Yeah.
Try to drop it. You also can always try to work it on yourself. Like the conflict is also inside of you. You know? Like again, if I take this example of Santa Pao, no, like the side of you that really wants to do whatever he wants. You have this side in you, no, the side of you that prioritize your own comfort and commodity over the greater good, for example. You know? All have this side, you know? And the side of you that really wants to improve things in the community, you know? And look for these parts inside of you, you know? and how you relate with it, because normally we also have conflict with it inside us. In a way, resolving a little bit this conflict doesn't resolve the conflict outside, but helps a little bit. Helps a little bit. And if you go again, the person is a little more open to deal with the conflict. So this is always an option, no? To try to deal a little bit with the conflict inside, and then try again and see what happens.
Excuse me. We again meeting without the camera.
There is Laura, Maya, and Mirjana.
There are many. This is just a direct question to repeat the last sentence because we lost it due to. You said that the conflict would go better when you do what?
If you work it on yourself.
It will be seen outside. I get it now. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. It won't resolve it, because sometimes there are these woo-woo thinking, no, that if you resolve it in yourself, it will resolve on the world, no? And normally a conflict is not solved till it's solved in all the levels. Yeah, personally, relationship, group, social, the world. No, we have to deal with the conflict in all the levels. Laura?
Yeah, so while you were going through the steps, I was thinking in the example that Kate shared with us that for me, it sounds that she's confronting, pushing back from the government, from the political system. That's why this group of women, they are afraid, they are scared to lose their home. So where do you put the strategy? So you decide the options, but then you ask for permission. But when you are confronting this super powerful monster, 99% of the time the permission is neglected. Is no, basically.
Yeah.
So would you say that that's the point where you have to redevelop the strategy, or would it be before seeking that permission when you have to work out the strategy?
It depends, no, of your, like you, because this is a way to facilitate conflicts, like from in a way a paradigm that every role has a sense, no, and a voice. But sometimes you don't want to facilitate. Sometimes you want to be an activist and fight. An activist doesn't ask for permission. And we need activists and we need facilitators. No? But there are like different ways, no, to deal with conflict and with war. Yeah, your face is that I don't answer you. Or...
No, yes, I'm thinking that yes, we are activists, but also we have to look for self-care.
Yeah.
Because if we are forcing the machine, if we are constantly fighting against the responses, the negative responses we are receiving, at the end we burn out, and we left the cause, and that's when the bats are winning. So
yeah. And sometimes there are activists that says no, the cause is more important than myself, and I will throw myself on the fire. And I am not saying this is the good option or like, but it's just to differentiate, no? That it's not just one way, no?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, if you want to avoid burnout, it's better that you follow these steps.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe it's needed. I don't know this. This is something that maybe we have to think or solve together in a way.
Thank you.
Okay, last question, because we are in the no, Maya and
Yeah. Yeah, can I go on?
Yes.
Yeah, just well, quick question. I hope you will understand it. So if you have a community or a team or whatever, and then you have, I haven't met a team or group without hierarchy, okay? And then we have like people who have more power. And let's say that somebody has a conflict with the person who has more power in a group or a team, and that person is actually like it's doing wrong, and everybody knows that that person is doing wrong and that it's bad for the community or for the team, but they don't speak up, or I don't know, cover a back of a person who is actually in conflict with that person with the more power, because they are afraid to lose whatever if they speak against that person. So in that case, what would you do, or what is like, it's I would say that the best thing is walk away, but in that case it's very rare then the things change, because we are always having this same people doing all the, you know. So yeah, that's my question. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, when there are when we put into this equation power, you know, everything gets more complex. But the thing is that power is complex also, has a lot of different aspects to it, you know? And maybe this person has the structural power, but maybe the other has the power that gives the purpose, for example, you know? Or that we call the spiritual power or personal power. So normally the conflicts are dealt when you connect with the power that you have in the moment. Normally, we identify ourselves with less power than we have, and we put in the other more power than they have. And in a way, we get disconnected with, we are more identified with having less. So in a way, it's like, yeah, maybe I need more allies, for example, or where I can take the resources to deal with these conflicts, or like to, in a way, to look for your inner resources. But we can also be for a whole weekend talking about power and rank dynamics, no, because it really gets much complex. And Sia was, I don't find you now. No, it's
there.
Okay, so it's time. I will not give you homework, okay? But I will see you next Monday, okay? And the idea for next Monday, I would like to talk a little bit more about how roles are present on the conflicts, and how identifying the different voices, we can prepare ourselves better for the conflict, and what we call ghost roles, like the voices that are not appearing. And also, then I would like to go to the phase 4, to connect with this more deeper purpose, and to do it as to experience it, to do it an exercise or a couple of exercises that you can experience a little bit of the phase 4, and from there start to going with what are the dream, our high dream, our what what we want to be, what we want to be as groups, teams, or community. This is the plan for next Monday. I hope you. Okay. So I hope you enjoy today, and yeah, pleasure to be here with you with all your interest and questions. That's really great. Yeah, many thanks, Alex, also for being there at the machine. And yeah,
I have a question. Maybe that I don't know if that's something we can talk about next week, because we just finished on the power struggle, okay, like within a conflict, and we have these in just about any situation, even the administration at the ayuntamiento, the cashier at the supermarket, your boss, your father can always bring you some sort of conflict based on the power thing they have or that we're giving them or these kind of things. So I would like to know if next week maybe we can talk about conflict management or situation management with these
with power.
Yeah, because we're usually not very equal unless we are
never. There are always
my partner or
Yeah.
So we are dealing with a lot of power differences.
Yeah. I can talk a little bit about power, and I can recommend you a really great book for one of my teachers. I can put it here. That is called Power. Okay. Power, Julie Diamond. Great book. If you are interested in brand dynamics and in manage and being more aware of power in teams, this is a great reading. But I can talk a little bit, but yeah, we will see. Okay, many thanks.
Can I also ask a question before you stop?
Yeah.
There was this question of Zia somewhere. Have you seen it, and what do you think about it?
Which one?
That I reposted it, so it's in the chat.
Okay. I wonder in between step to change response to the question. The power dynamics. Just a quick thing, but because this is really, but we can't change power dynamics. Like the power in each moment is what it is. So the thing about power is not about changing it. It's about being aware of how we use it, of how we use the power that we have. A lot of times we try to equalize power or something like that, but this never works because there are always differences. Just me, because I am white man with a degree, with some economic status. I have a lot of privilege just because. And there are other people that they don't have it. And in this, like power changes because of the social context, because of the more little context, because of my personal experience, because of my beliefs and my connection with something bigger or not. So all this, is in a way working in each situation. So we are never in an equal power situation. So the thing is not about making some kind of equilibrium. It's more about being aware how we use it. And just last thing, because also the problem with power, is that if we overuse our power, this is bad. But if we underuse our power, this is also really bad. So it's not about, oh, I have a lot of power, I have to use it less, because then this is not taking responsibility for my privileges and for my power, and this creates a lot of misuse of the power. So this is the complexity, of power and rank dynamics, and because also it's really easy to be aware of the aspects that I have less power or less rank, but it's really difficult to be aware of where I have power. So also it's really easy to make a bad use or an abuse of this power. It's really easy also. So yeah, in a conflict, the better thing with power is to be aware, and we can practice this because there are a lot of we can practice this. I will bring an exercise to practice this, like the awareness of power in a conflict. Yeah. Good. Okay. Many thanks. Have a nice evening.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice week.